Welcome back to our Blue Z Water channel. In our last video, we discussed how doing home ozone therapy, particular rectal ozone therapy, is excellent for combating pathogens. And we discussed the nature of constriction in the colon and how that's opportunistic for pathogens to grow. We don't want feces to putrefy and rot in the colon. We want everything to pass through, and we want to be able to process any opportunistic organisms, and this is done by our gut immunity. If we have a good gut immune system, then we're lucky enough to be able to, essentially like a good septic tank, take care of pathogens as they arise. Now, this constrictive environment in the colon, I want to discuss today a really critical factor, and that is traumas and how they reflect in the gut. In Chinese medicine, this is called the lung colon meridian. Essentially, if subconsciously you have a trauma and it puts you into a state of grief, it'll affect this region. Generally, if you have trauma, you can constrict, and there's 30 feet of colon wall, and if you have any type of constriction, this can be the result of traumatic memory, and we all have all kinds of adverse memories. So this is a very sensitive region, and of course can lead to diseases. You get a lot of constriction. You can get Crohn's, colitis, diverticulitis. You can get literally structural deformity in the colon. Your elimination pathways are now inhibited, and now you have longer transit time, and the microbes can build up. So rectal ozone insufflation, actually when you do it, not only does it go after the pathogens, but it stimulates almost like a profound letting go or relaxation of the colon region. So rectal ozone insufflation has a very catalytic effect. It causes a really strong letting go. It actually causes you to eliminate a deep elimination. Now, you need to work up to this, and there's various procedures. You can contact me, which we can discuss about how to acclimate to the therapy and how to increase it. But at the end of the day, number one, if you're getting an infection and you do this, it can radically change the course of that infection. It can completely knock it out within minutes. But also, if you've had a history of holding and constriction, I remember when I was young, there was stress in my family, and I could feel it in my gut. Looking back, I can definitely look back at myself and how I try to hold in or process emotions in my gut. So this becomes actually a therapy, not just physically of knocking out pathogens, but also which I call something I call releasing the grip of death. Okay, and so here's a blog. We'll put a link below: Whole Body Vibration Therapy and Colon Health, Releasing the Grip of Death. So this is a bodywork protocol that I think everybody should learn to do. Essentially, when you do play traumatic memories, some part of the body will constrict, and by doing this trauma release therapy using a vibration machine and a tool called the rapid release, you can start to unwind that subconscious gripping state. Now, I've gotten to the point where I've done a lot of this work, and I'm very well aware of the somatic relationship between the subconscious memories and the body. Now, as you do this work, memories will show up. And every morning I still do the practice, and I will see a whole series of memories spontaneously arise, but the attachment to the body is decreasing and decreasing. So even though the memories are there, the somatic reaction to them are being processed. Now, since, at least for me, I never knew any of this work when I grew up, and probably didn't learn until later in life, I'm playing a lot of catch up. I'm literally trying to clean out a lot of trauma loops in my body. So with the ozone has the same kind of cathartic effect, with the extra benefit of going after whatever is trying to house upon these, you might call them grief zones or frozen sections of the colon physically, as it causes everything to let go. And with that comes a sense literally of freedom, and you feel lighter, you feel freer. So anybody who's spent years and years trying to process trauma, this is actually one way to literally let go, and the elimination that ensues makes you feel it's cathartic. So this isn't just a physical this is physical and emotional, mental, all rolled into one. You are actually processing memories that have been stored in that region, and at the same time you're eliminating you're creating a healthier colon terrain. So this is antimicrobial, physical, but also profoundly emotional. So anybody doing rectal ozone insufflation, think of it as processing trauma, grief, frozen and stagnant terrain in the colon region. If we could just completely let go at every cell level, at every memory that's ever been gone through us, we would be out of the body probably. But in a sense, the body is a record of subconscious trauma events. I don't know one human being that comes from an ancestral tree of perfection, angels and gods, where there's no trauma, there's no wrongdoing, there's no receiving of wrongdoing or doing of wrongdoing. This is all recorded, and this creates a reactive state in the body. So we want to free the body literally of subconscious imbalanced memory. This is spiritual work, and we do it through many, many skill sets. But in this case, the colon region, when it becomes constricted, I'll repeat this once more, becomes opportunistic for pathogens due to the fact that the feces now is being restricted, can't go through. All the microbes start to house on the putrefied matter, and ensues a ton of disease. So once we understand the vital nature of the colon and this multidimensional approach, you don't want to just do probiotics. You don't want to just fast. You need to literally create a redesign of the structure. And just doing the literal body work end of it, which as amazing as it is, that's not enough. So ozone happens to have a tremendous catalytic action on the tissue itself, and deep in that tissue is heavy duty memories. So give it a try. Anybody also doing ozone therapy, please factor this into doing your treatments. And if you have any questions, contact me at blueseawater.com, and we will put a link below to our ozone kits that are in our store. Alrighty, thanks. Take care.